Hello friends and welcome to Smart Coach. Today we are talking about the Anglo-Burmese War. And in this video we are going to talk about the first Anglo-Burmese War, okay? The dates for this war is 1824 to 1826. All right, important to remember the dates always when it concerns wars. All right, and the Anglo-Burmese War is also important from the point of view of your APSC needs. If you are one of those students who are preparing for APSC, the first Anglo-Burmese War is important because it is how the British come to rule over the newly acquired province of Assam. All right, so now let us proceed. And also before we proceed, I want to make it clear that we will be taking this videos in two parts. Okay, the video for Anglo-Burmese War will be in two parts. Part 1 will deal with the first Anglo-Burmese War because it is a little bit more intricate, and then we will go on in the part 2. We will talk about the second and the third Anglo-Burmese War. Okay, so let us proceed. Now, before we learn about the engagement in particular, we will have to know about the background. And as far as the background is concerned, okay, Burma at this point of time was being ruled by the Konbaung dynasty. All right. Now, this was an expansionist dynasty, okay, and its imperial policies, you see, it was geared towards expansion, and in its expansionist drive, it had also created a rift between itself and Thailand because they had tried to tried to invade upon Thailand, that is Siam at that point of time. If you're talking about early modern Thailand, we will talk about, we will have to use the word Siam, okay. So, Thailand has inimical relation with the Konbaung dynasty. The Konbaung dynasty also has or does not have a very good relationship with the Qing dynasty of China, all right. So, the Qing dynasty of China also does not have very good relationship with the Konbaung dynasty, and therefore, they are now feeling quite locked within their own territories. And in this, you see, at this juncture, the Konbaung dynasty ruled by King Bodopaya. All right, this is the name of the ruler. Okay, so ruled by King Bodopaya, in this juncture the Konbaung dynasty decides to expand westward, and when it decides to expand westward, where would they land up? Of course, they will end up in the areas adjoining Assam, in the different hill kingdoms of northeastern India. Okay, so therefore the Konbaung dynasty expanded towards you see, to westwards, okay, towards the Arakan and the you see, northeastern region of India, and therefore we see that the Burmese, they come into conflict, okay, they come into conflict with the state of Manipur, okay, with the monarchy of Manipur. They already come into conflict, okay, and you see, later on the Burmese also come into conflict with the Ahom kingdom, okay. And the Burmese are successful in invading upon Myanmar, and they are also successful in the invasion of the Ahoms, you see, the Ahom kingdom, and this forms a particularly dark chapter in the history of Manipur and Ahom because it has been recorded as one, as a chapter of, you see, degradation, all round degradation of society, and you see, a very violent interlude in the history of both Manipur and Assam, all right. And it is during this period that the Burmese, so we see that there are motives present between the Anglo-Burmese War on both sides. However, the entire situation comes to a head in you see, 1824, because it is in 1824 that we see that the Burmese side, they try to move into Kachar region, okay, the Kachar region, all right, which is controlled by the British, okay. And this brings matters to a head, and thus begins the Anglo-Burmese War. The Anglo-Burmese War is also known for the fact that even the Madras presidency took part in the Anglo-Burmese War, and they sent a contingent to the northeastern region of India from Madras, okay, and the contingent traveled by sea, and of course the Bengal presidency is of course involved in this war, all right. The war stretches on till 1826, when finally the Treaty of of Yandabu is drafted, and the Treaty of Yandabu was drafted after the surrender of the Burmese forces. Okay, the Burmese forces were no match, of course, for the imperial forces of Britain. Okay, so they surrender, and by the Treaty of Yandabu, certain clauses were drawn out. What were the clauses? That Burma will relinquish its rights to rule over Assam, all right, Manipur, and also certain regions in Arakan, all right. So Burma lost its you see, right to rule over these areas, and of course Burma also had to surrender £1 million, okay, £1 million sterling, okay, as a war indemnity. Apart from that, there was also sharing of diplomatic missions, okay. Diplomatic missions were shared between both Burma and the British India, okay. And apart from that, what we also see is that you see, trade relations were to be established, okay. Trade relations or market relations were to be established. Later on, what we see is that the British, through the second and the third Anglo-Burmese War, they completely take over Burma and the administration of Burma. However, we will talk about all those things in a separate video. But for this video, what you have to know is the sequence of events, and also know the causes and how, or get a little bit of background on the Burmese kingdom itself, okay, and then moving on to the clauses of the Treaty of Yandabu. The Treaty of Yandabu, for those students who are dealing with APSC, it's quite important, okay, and for a greater understanding of the treaty, you can look into our Assam history section, all right. So with that, I take your leave, and I hope that you will be studying hard. Thank you.